Hi, this is Daniel Uchowoka. I live for impact and I will leave an impact.
Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, hi, Elvis.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Alright, so can you please just introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Daniel Uchowoka, Ada Paul, Daniel Walker for short. I am a strategist, business strategist. That says it all.
Okay, so can you tell me about your childhood, your background? Just
Okay, I grew up as the eighth child from a family of 9 children. My dad, he's a retiree from the Nigerian Army, and he also worked for the central bank. After he retired from the Nigerian Army, he left while I was about 2 years old. So you know how it is. My elder ones were basically my parents because I have my eldest brother is like old enough to be my dad. So I picked up everything growing up from them.
okay, so you how about your mom?
Sorry.
How about your mom? You just spoke about your dad.
Okay, my mom, she stayed pretty much. She stayed and she's still staying. She's been there. She fought even for the days that were very hard, even hard on her. She felt she never showed her weakness while doing what she did. She was there. She worked. She sold anything that she saw. She borrowed. She borrowed food. She borrowed money. She did all that she could do to bring me and my siblings up. And I feel like she's the most empathetic person I've ever seen. She's the most loving person, even though she has never told anyone, I love you. Not not in my consciousness, not in my presence, not in my knowing. She has never said I love you to anyone, but she has lived every day of her life saying that.
Okay, so does that kind of shape your relationship you have with her in any way?
Yeah, it does. I feel like there are some. It has its side effects on how I relate to people. I find it hard to say words. Only I'm someone that expresses how I feel with actions. So it has affected the way I am growing up with and mingling with people, my interpersonal relationship with friends and romantic relationship. I find it difficult to say I love you or to appreciate people with words because of the way I was brought up. I was brought up to only do things. I was brought up to say that I love you, say that I care about you with actions. And when I don't have like anything to do about a particular situation with a friend or my girlfriend or my brother or my sister, I just don't like to do it or don't like to say anything about it. I just act like I don't know. So I feel like, yeah, it has really affected the way I relate to people a lot. But then it still makes me just want to do what has to be done when there's a problem.
Well, that's alright. So can you just let us know how it was like, with you and your dad and his absence? How has that affected you?
Well, while I was at it, like the core, while I was growing up, I felt like he wasn't responsible. I felt like he didn't care about me and my siblings. But now, this year, where I am now, I feel like I understand. I understand with him. He's late, and I really wished I had like the opportunity to spend more time with him. But I feel like I understand with him why he had left. My mom is a very difficult person, and then the both of them never really told us what really went wrong. But yes, I feel like, yeah, with the way I've grown to understand and prioritize empathy, I feel like, yeah, I can really excuse him and all. But while I was growing up, I always wished I had a dad, because you go to school and people are talking about their parents in class and stuff, their dads, and you have absolutely nothing to say. So my relationship was with my dad was a typical African. Like anytime he was around, he was always expecting you to be a fully committed child. He was always entitled to like respect and love. He liked to be loved too. But I understand now that he was just he was just made by the society, that is same society that is making me, obviously. And the society did not like teach us to use a lot of words, to be emotional, to give into emotions and all. And he was just about being a parent. Like it was just, yeah, if you have children, they have to like be children to you no matter what. It doesn't matter whether you are providing for them emotionally, you are paying attention to them, and you just had to be children. So it was rough, I must say. Growing up, the relationship with my dad was rough, because I wasn't expressive to him, to anyone, and he didn't give me the chance to like to express how I felt about the whole relationship I have with him. To him, he didn't give me that chance to express it. It was just, yeah, you have to, like, from where I'm from, Amidoma and Agatu, we pay a lot of, like, we prioritize respect, like physically respecting your elders a lot. Like we bow down to greet, we bend down when we are greeting our elders. So he looks out for stuff like that. Yeah, and if not that, for me, if I should describe how I am, I have a strong personality, and my convictions are very strong. I hardly do things based on peer pressure. I do the things that I think that are best for me. I make the decisions that I think that are best for me. If not for that, the kind of personality I have, I would have given to a lot of things. I would have been a cultist, because I went to a very stubborn secondary school. In the university, everyone was like in Benue State University, everyone was, that was a trend. I would have given to all those trends.
Can you just tell us about your school days, your experiences, with all that, with the family dynamics and how that has,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, for primary and secondary school, I was mostly out of school because I didn't pay school fees. It was hell. It wasn't funny at all as a child. Now I look back at those days and I say, oh, those days were just those days. They have passed, and they were not really as serious as I gaslighted them in my mind to be. But it was really a serious like nightmare for me, because 2 days or 3 days out of 5 days, out of 5 school days, I'm at home or I'm sent out of school. Then in the university, I didn't start school early. I stayed at home after secondary school for like 4 years. So I was pretty much not acting like my mates in school. I'm very young. I started school early. I left primary school very young. But I was not acting like my age mates. The first time I told my group of friends my age, they were like shocked. They didn't believe until I had to show them my birth certificate. So I lived a preoccupied life in school. I learned from outside the classroom. I didn't even pay a lot of attention in what they were teaching in class, because there were so many and it wasn't possible for you to really learn anything from class. So while I was in school, I used to study a lot of National Open University books, because you could get them for free in their website. So that was what I studied the most. And for social interactions, like I said, I have a very strong personality. So it is difficult for me to do things that I don't want to do. It is difficult for me to see people and be influenced and say, oh, that's how I want to dress, that's how I want to look, or that's how I want to behave. I was always like living a preoccupied life.
Okay, so what were the activities that actually got you busy in school?
Well, in school, I used to do market research. I worked for, as an interviewer, ad hoc for TNS, RMS. I worked for a couple of companies, independent market research companies, TNS, RMS, Counter Mirror, Brown, Ipsos. Yeah, there were lots of them that we used to do research for. So we go out, talk to people about their products and services and stuff, get their opinions, get their feedback. So yeah, that kept me busy, and I was also running a modeling agency with a group of my friends. I had a couple of blogs, I had USB Connects, then I now had we trained it media with a friend, with a partner. Yeah, then I was also doing events with a couple of guys in school. So those were like basically my like school days. Those are the things I did during school.
So, these things you got engaged in, were you doing it because you wanted to raise funds, or it was a hustle, or you were just like you love this thing and then you just wanted to do it?
I I've never really been money driven. I've never really even wanted to make money. If I wanted to make money I would have been a millionaire when I was like in my 100 level. When I was 17, I was doing a campaign against drug abuse, and I got approval from the state government then. I think it was a 8 million naira project for for a local government, and we're supposed to do 22 local governments. So, but I think I was scared then. It wasn't really about money, it was about passion, it was about um, being very strong on my opinions, being a very opinionated person, being driven by impact. I always wanted to, like, if I'm thinking something, I wanted to bring it to life. So it wasn't really about money for me. I really didn't do, the only thing I did for money was research, because it was giving me money to buy clothes and to navigate through, yeah, that whole teenage life. So I really didn't do any of those for money.
Okay, so um, what do you think is what's your opinion about the educational system in the country? What do you think it is right now?
Well, I think the educational system is filled with people, with the same people that are wearing uniforms, for instance, that are the police that will stop you on the road and be brutal and harass you and misuse their power. We have, especially in public school, we have people in those filling those offices where they think that they can do anything they want. They don't even care about the impact they are passing on to the students. It's really not about passing any impact. It's very strenuous. If you don't have a mind of your own, you wouldn't pick anything from it. You would graduate and still not be empowered mentally. So I feel like it's not objective. They are not objective about the educational system. It's a discussion that maybe we would never have, but I feel like the people that are in control are not objective about what they are doing. It's very strenuous. Schooling in Nigeria, you have to know somebody, you have to do something, you have to be out of the box to pass. It's not training you to pass, it's not training you to know, it's training you to fail. Like, they are telling you that you are going to fail. A lecturer comes into the class and he's telling you guys that no matter what you do, you are going to fail. So it's not encouraging at all. It's not, schooling in Nigeria is not, especially the tertiary institutions there. We have a bunch of people that are misusing their privilege.
Well, okay. So, would you say your parents were actively involved in your academic life?
Yeah, they were. My parents, my family my sister, she was the most significant part of the funding of my eldest sister. Yeah, so they were very, very much involved in my academic pursuits.
Okay, so did that make you kind of behave in some kind of way, just to make up for their
No,
efforts and all that?
no, no. I've never said I wanted to be upright in school because of them. I always wanted to do what was right for me. I know what is good for me. If anything goes bad with my schooling, it will affect me. It won't affect them. They are just doing what they have to do. Yeah. So everything I did, it was not because I was afraid, or it was not because I wanted to please anybody. It was because I wanted to be empowered in my mind. Yeah.
So, growing up, what was your ambition? What was it you wanted to become?
Growing up, I wanted to be. There's not. I don't think there's anything that I've said I wanted. I've always. Okay, let me be straight. Growing up, I wanted to be a good father and a good husband.
Why?
Because I felt like that was what I lacked, and I felt like that is the genesis of everyone's life. Their parenting. Parenting is like the genesis of everyone's life. Like, you pick everything from your parents, indirectly or directly. If your parent neglects you, if your parent doesn't pay attention to you, it doesn't even have to be provision. It doesn't even have to be a parent that pays your school fees, gives you money to like buy stuff, gives you a comfortable house. A parent, I'm talking about parenting that is there emotionally for you, knows you, like pays attention or puts in effort to knowing who their children, who their child actually is. I feel like that's where it starts from. If you lack love from the house, it is definitely going to affect the way you see things when you go outside. So yeah, that's what I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a good father and a good husband to whoever it is I end up with at the end of the day. So anything I am, that's not the objective. If today I'm the president, that's not what I want to be. That's not what gives me satisfaction. What gives me satisfaction is a happy family. It's a family that I am, that is healthy. I have a healthy relationship with my brothers and my sisters. When we are old, I have a healthy relationship with my wife and with my children. I know my children, they love me. I don't scare them as a father. I don't come to the house and they're all running to their rooms. Yeah, that's what gives me that's what will give me satisfaction. Even though I'm a businessman, I'm a successful businessman, or I'm a president, or I'm in a board. I'm a board member in a big company. What I want to use all of that to be is to be a good father and a good husband.
Okay. What do you think is missing in the family system right now that most people neglect or most people overlook?
I think is communication, being comfortable with opening up about how you feel. I think that is like something that families neglect a lot. For the person communicating, passing the message, that fear they feel, or that thing that holds them back, that say, oh no, you don't have to, or that does not even not even let them have the thought of like communicating how they feel, how people make them feel in a good way, in a calm way. Then for people that are receiving, I think it's for them not willing to understand or to listen, or not to be empathetic, to put themselves in the person's shoes, and to be open to have those conversations, to be comfortable with being wrong, to know that being wrong is okay and we are all human. And yeah, I feel like it's just communication. If my mom communicates when my dad is doing something that she doesn't like with him, and my dad is open enough to say, okay, this is why I'm doing it, and she's open enough to say, okay, I understand, but you have to work it out, so we meet in a place that benefits the both of us.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what I feel like is missing, especially in the African society.
Can you tell me about your relationship with your siblings?
Okay, so I have different modes or different um, levels of the way I relate with every of my siblings. So it is distinct based on the sibling, but it's good. It's good. I have siblings that listen to me. I'm like the youngest boy. I have a younger sister, but it is easy for me because they don't. I think for the past like 6 years, they've stopped ordering me around. They've stopped. I don't know. Maybe they feel like they've trusted the way they've trusted my instincts and my judgment. So they don't. There's not really much they like tell me to do these days. Yeah. So when I say I want to do something, they just support. There's no.
Okay, so is there any correlation, any relationship between, you know, um, parenthood and how siblings relate and all of that? Is there any dynamics there?
Sorry. How do you mean?
Like how parents relate, does it affect the way children also relate?
Yeah. Of course, it does a lot. It does a lot. If you have parents that are if you grow up in a home that the parents are for instance um, partially there,
Yeah.
they're like, or if they provide food, or there's food on the table when the needs arises, you have clothes to wear, um, you can pay your fees, and they are not there. They don't know where their children go to. They don't care. Their children are in boarding schools, and they don't know their friends. They don't know how it is in the school. They don't know the people in their classes. If you have those kind of parents that like to avoid responsibilities, like actual parenting responsibilities, you have siblings like that. Your siblings will likely want to avoid like their core responsibilities for something, or want to replace it with something else. Okay, instead of me to be there to watch you, to keep you, and make sure you don't go astray, just sit at home since you're not going anywhere, watch TV or use this laptop and do whatever it is you want to do. And they don't care what it is you are watching, they don't care what it is you are exposed to on that laptop, on that TV, but they've replaced you and like you're not going out. So yeah, it is, but I have siblings that know what's up. Like my siblings know, like they are in trend. They know when you are doing something that you're not supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah, because that's how my parents are. Like you're not even allowed to play with your sisters in a certain way because they are women,
Yeah.
and you have to respect that. You have to know that you relate with women differently from the way you relate with men. So my brothers were not allowed to play with my sisters in a certain type of way. You're not allowed. I'm not comfortable wearing my boxers at home when my sisters are around. So yeah, my siblings are pretty much like that. When I wear a very short shorts, when I wear a short that is very short, my sister calls me in and tell me, yo, that stuff is very short. But I'm a guy, but she still tells me that it's very short, even up till this point. So yeah, I feel like my siblings, they picked up. They have other sides too that they picked up from my parents that are not like, for me, for my own opinion, my own perspective, I feel like they are not very good.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall, it's not their fault. It's just what the society has like made them to be.
Okay, so can you just, do you think, you know, your relationship, how's your relationship with women like?
Women.
Generally, yeah, like the opposite sex, as in like.
Um, is I have, because of my mom, and because of the fact that I grew up with my sisters mostly.
Yeah.
Um, I I mostly have like a very very, should I use convenient? I don't know if convenient is the word. The relationship, if it's a word to describe the relationship I have with women, is always very very easygoing. Cause I don't like to go ahead of. I don't like to go across. I just stay in my lane when I'm dealing with women. In fact, when I'm dealing with people generally, except you are really really like my close friend.
Yeah. Okay.
I always like to stay in my lane.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What would you say, is a major factor in your relationship, in terms of your relationship with women? What do you think has actually broadened your perception on how relate to women, or you would want to relate with a woman?
um well, I think it would be my selective exposure. I have consciously put in effort to understand women. It's not like I can confidently say, oh, I understand women 100%, but I consciously put in effort to understand that this is how women are. I've been slapped like by a girl I was going out with her mom like 3 times. I didn't raise a finger. I didn't even stop her, but she slapped me the first time, slapped me. So she didn't slap again. I didn't say anything to her, and I didn't like. There was no reason for her. What she did was wrong. I feel like it's wrong to lay your hands on anybody.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything to her, and she was shocked. If she sees me today, she's a mature woman coming. She'll leave that road and pass the other road. Yeah, but like, cause I understand, like this is what you want, but I won't give it to you. You want to prove a point. So I understand even when they are like in their most tensed moods, I understand like the words that can come out from they want to do so I feel like it's exposure. I've read articles, I've seen other people's stories, I've watched movies purposefully to understand that okay, this is how women are and this is the extent they can go to like prove a point or to express themselves.
Okay, so but if you want to pick a wife today, what do you think would be your what would you be looking out for?
Loyalty.
Why?
Cause
Why not love?
I feel like yeah, love is like isn't it is not something I would be looking out for. It is like how do I liken things? It is like I want to buy a car and I'm looking for a car that moves. Every car is supposed to move. Every relationship with a woman is supposed to have love. Like that's basic. But that's not what like you need the most. But it's basic, it's there. Like you need to breathe to be alive, but you still need to eat, you still need to relate with people to like feel. So I feel like loyalty is like what I would look out for. If you don't love me, I wouldn't be with you in the first place. But when that love is there, loyalty is what like I would demand from you because I am loyal. I will be loyal to you. So I want you to be loyal when I'm not there, when I'm there.
Okay, so what do you think generally is missing, in these contemporary relationship, that you see today? What do you think, youngsters,
I think is do I am I knowledgeable enough to take this stand? I think that they misplace priorities and they misunderstand what relationships actually are.
the essence of it,
Yeah,
right?
the essence, like for them there's an end. There's like for me, like an ideal life is a life that prioritizes the relationship you have with somebody, that person that you spend the most of your life with, the rest of your life with. So you should just the way you look, just the way you put in efforts to have a good career, to have money, to be successful in life. That's how you should put in effort to spend, like to choose someone that you spend the rest of your life with. So people miss when I hear cases of people saying, "Oh, Hakimi, like the footballer, he he bought all his properties and he put all his money in his mother's name." And people are praising him. Yeah, like he was watching out for himself because I feel like he knew the person he was or he knew the world he was. But that's not like how it's supposed to be. Like you
Right.
shouldn't even have those fears.
Yeah.
Like if you know that you don't trust this person or this person is going to be like this, don't invest that kind of decision with that person. So yeah, I feel like is that priority. People don't prioritize it. So when it leads to them taking it for several other things that it is not it. So if you're in a relationship with a girl, for instance, I don't see how it is a proper relationship when you have a friend that is closer, that you are closer to than the girl or the guy. So that is, like, for me, in my own opinion of an ideal life, that is not what a relationship is. If you are in a relationship with a person, the person should be your best friend. You should be comfortable with feeling vulnerable, to feel weak, your weakest with the person. So yes, I feel like, yeah,
that's brought me to the issue of having besties,
Yeah.
in relationship. What do you think about that? Do you think it's ideal, it's permitted, to have
No,
besties in relationships?
no. I feel like having a bestie is cheating. Like, you don't have to have sex to cheat. Sharing the things that you share with someone, that, yeah, someone like that with someone else is cheating. So having a bestie, like my current relationship, when I met her, she was very liberal. So she was okay with this Western way of life and besties and all, having me, like, that's what company for me creates companion. So I don't want to start saying, oh, I trust you not to ever fuck me up. Sorry for using the F word. But I don't want to be there. I want to watch you. I want to be a watchdog. Like, I want to say, if you are going this way, it is going to go bad. So let's avoid this way, just the way I'm doing it. So if having male besties will lead to us having problems in the future, avoid it. If me having a female bestie or female friends will lead to you or us having problems in the future, I'm going to avoid it. So I don't think it is ideal. Like, what's the point? Is it just for sex or for money? Is that why you're in a relationship?
Wow. So what's your take on family values? Okay, to put it straight, what values do you think you prioritize, in depositing to your children? What values do you think you want to just give?
Well, empathy. I would want my children to be empathetic. Empathy is broad. It covers equity, it covers equality. It helps you balance things. It helps you build bridges for people around you. So when you're empathetic, you are not self-centered. It's not always about you. You understand that You understand that people are coming from different places from where you are coming from, and it's okay. It is totally okay for people to be different or for people to act differently. So empathy is one value. Loyalty is another one. Loyalty to their siblings, loyalty to their parents, loyalty to the family, loyalty to their friends and to the society. When you see your friend out of school, not going, your friend that you like, that is your friend, and their parents are not doing something that your parent is doing for you, you learn how to help them, to reach out in any way you can. Like, while I was doing my NYC, our chairman, he had issues with his driver. His driver was aged. His driver was almost his age, and he suspended him. But the guy kept coming to the office. Like, it was in Lagos. You know how Lagos is. Like, it doesn't, like, I didn't know where he was living, but it's not possible for him to be living close to the chairman, because the chairman was living in the choice area. But this man was leaving his house every day, coming to the office. Even though he was suspended, he would come and stay till the chairman leaves the office, and he leave. And he was not working. And everyone in the office was seeing him. Now, when I saw him, I heard the security people talking about it. And I thought, this man will have children. This man, he has dignity as a man. Like, men, we have what makes us feel like men.
Yeah.
he has lost everything for somebody that is his mate. He's working for somebody that is his mate, that is a driver. That is enough trauma on its own. For okay, we are guys, but I'm working for you. I know every day of my life I wake up and I'm driving you around, and you're making calls and you're calling all this money, and I'm getting peanuts. That is trauma enough. But he still beats that. He still let his ego out down. We have issues. He don't need to say okay because life was good for you. He's still coming to the office. Like, this is the weakest anybody could be. I spoke to someone I was comfortable with in the office and told her, why don't the whole people, like the whole staff, go and meet the chairman and beg in this man's behalf and say, okay, we don't know how this man has wronged you, but please, we want you to forgive him because this and that. But like, she was nonchalant, and that's how the world is. She was nonchalant. But I feel like those are the kind of qualities, those are the kind of values I would want to instill in my children. Don't see people and just pass and leave. Do something, anything you can do. Talk to someone. If you can give them part of the money I give you to take it to for a day, share it with them. If they are not paying school fees, come and talk to me and talk to the other friends for us to gather. You know, we have more than enough money. Of course, some parents are like that. Some kids, some children are like that, where in their clique of friends, their parents have more than enough money to take care of them and extend. So come and talk to us. So those are the kind of values. So I'm very sure that if they think like that, it will extend, and anybody they encounter will be affected, and that's how the world will change. I don't need to be a president to try to change, or be a pastor to try to. If I can touch my children's life, my children touch. So that's how it should just go. I'm very sure a community will grow up from.
Daniel, are you in love?
Yeah. Proudly.
I'm sure you're in love with yourself.
Yes, very much yes.
I'm sure that's not what you mean to say.
No, but I'm in love with a lot of things, a lot of people. I have kids, not my kids though. I love my mom, I love my sisters and my brothers, I love my girlfriend. Yeah, and I love my friends. Real love.
Real love. What to you is real love?
I don't know how to describe that. I don't know how to categorically explain what real love is, but yeah, real love. I love them irrespective of our differences, irrespective of the fights that we may have, irrespective of the wrong we may do to each other. I love them. Nothing touches it.
Okay. So do you have any regrets in life?
Regrets?
Yeah.
Do I have any regrets? No, I don't. I don't have any regrets. Yeah, I've had a police issue once, but I don't regret the experience I got from it. Yeah, and I don't hate the police either. I feel like they are doing their job, and they are just like every other Nigerian, abusing their power and privilege.
Right. So what would you say are your core values?
My core values are good health, family, relationships with my family and my friends, and comfort. Obviously, the physical environment and the psychological environment, comfort. I like my core values being having a healthy mental state at every time. Pursuing it, I know it's hard to keep, because there are other variables involved. So I think that my core values is family, that is my relationship, my family, good health and comfort.
Okay. What's the most controversial thing about you?
Well, I hear that I'm very controversial, so I think it's just myself, the way I think and my opinions. So I don't know how to separate those from myself. So I think it's the way I think and my opinions. People say that it's controversial because I'm always on the other side.
On the left,
Yeah.
right?
No, not left. I'm like the the general the contemporary community
Yeah.
right now is left.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm always on the right. I'm like behaving like the generation before me. I think like the generation.
Okay, so you actually attribute yourself or identify yourself as a traditional guy.
Yeah, it's very, very traditional, homophobic to the core. Like, I don't play with, I don't like, I'm wildly homophobic. And controversially empathetic too. Like, I understand where people are coming from, but, well, my point of being homophobic is that people take homophobia as a way of life, whereas I feel like I hope this is not against your personal opinions, but I feel like it's a mental issue and it should be treated as a mental issue.
Okay, would you want to come on the show and speak with people that have a different opinion?
Yes, I don't mind so long as they can take the heat.
Alright, maybe we'll have that session.
Okay.
Alright, so would you want to tell us what you think the role of youth are, especially in our society, in making the society a better place?
Well, I feel like young people are drivers in every society. They are the ones that make things, that pushes things, policies, lifestyle, anything that trends has to be like something that is young people that is doing. So their role is to play, and yeah, they have to decide what it is they want to carry on. They want to keep playing, they want to keep doing. So they don't just take anything that comes. You have to think about where you're coming from, think about where you're at, and think about where you are going with whatever it is that you want to do. So I think their role is to do, and they have to be objective about what they are doing.
That's right. So what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for love.
When you say you want to be remembered for, can you just elucidate just?
Okay, I want to be remembered as someone that I want to be remembered as someone that did everything for love. Like when they are giving a speech at my wake up or funeral or whatever, I want it to be that okay, everyone that is coming was affected or was impacted or was subjected to my love at what point, and the way I express, the way I love, like changed the way they see life. If they thought the world was a bad place, maybe something I did at one point in time made them have some hope in the world.
Okay. Is there something you really want to tell the world? Something you really want to say?
Well, it would be that if something is not a problem, don't change it. Like, we are quick to changing things in the world right now. We are quick to like scrapping policies that have been set in place by the previous generation. For instance, the problem of gender, where people are quick to change their sexuality these days. Or if you are being depressed too much in the Western world, the next one of the things that they want to do to solve the problem is to change their gender. I feel like there's no problem with what God wants you to be. And for the people that are pushing that agenda, for the people that are saying, oh, it should be okay for people that making our kids to feel like it's okay for them to not feel like what they were made to be or what they were born to be. We have so much problems in the world. We have hunger, we have poverty. We have not done 20% into solving that problem, into making that problem go away. So try to solve those problems. You have enough problems for you to be trying to change things that are not problems. So the world should try to stop the whole world, you in your in your career, in your workplace, in your family. Stop trying to change the things that are not problems and try to solve the problems. If you must be problematic.
It's alright. Okay, I think we're gonna have a session for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there something you would really want to, is there a conversation you want to have with your dad if you ever
I-
would have to meet him again?
If I, yes, the conversation would be his story. I would like to hear his story. Like I would like to know how it is for him growing up, how he did with women, the vices that he was, the mistakes that he made growing up, the things that he regrets, and I would like to know how he feels about life, like how he actually feels, like what goes through his mind, because everyone has like it, they put up if it I think it's a facade of what they are, like they are two-faced. There's something there are conversations that you actually have with yourself. There are things that are truths, reality that you actually have, and is comfortable with yourself, in yourself, but you don't let those out. So I would want to know what he thinks, like if he thinks, oh, this thing, if he can point out, this is where I made a mistake and I was wrong. Yeah, because people always like to justify the things that they do. So yeah, I think that I would really want to have this. I would just want to know what his story is, basically.
But that's alright. Lastly, what's your relationship like with God?
With God,
Yeah.
I believe in God. Like, I feel like God is the center of everything, but I'm not religious, and I can't say the other one. I don't go to church, and it's something that I'm trying to fix. It's not like I'm atheist. I just got dissatisfied with the way the church operates at a certain point. But I was wrong. I admit that I was wrong for not going to church because of the way people were behaving, and I'm trying to work on finding a church that I feel more comfortable with. But yeah, I believe God. Without God, like He's the one that okays everything. There's nothing that goes on that God does not approve. If truly God is who He say He is, there's nothing that happens without His approval. So yeah, I tie everything to Him.
That's alright. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming through.
Yeah, thank you, Elvis.
It was actually a wonderful session.
All right.
I'm looking forward to having you again.
Yeah, sure. Looking forward to having.
Right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Elvis.